Hello and welcome to CTN's Happy Tales. I'm your host, Melissa Bondi, and I'm coming to you today from home. Happy Tales efforts focus on animal rescues, organizations, and individuals who lend their time assisting animals in many diverse ways. Today we are talking with Aging Paws Incorporated. Aging Paws works through approved veterinarians, shelters, and rescue organizations to provide financial assistance for the medical treatment and care of our senior dogs. And today I would like to welcome from Aging Paws, Kathy Spray, who is the President and Executive Director, Julie Schneider, Director and Corporate Vice President, Sam Spray, Director and Corporate Secretary, and Jillian Spray, who is the Teen Panel Committee Chair. Welcome everyone, welcome ladies to the show. Happy to have you guys. I'm glad we were able to make this happen today, safely from our homes. So Kathy, why don't you tell me, as I understand, Aging Paws is a result of a longtime passion of yours. So can you tell me how it began and how it was formed?
Sure. Well, first, let me thank you for having us, Melissa. It's really great to be on the show, virtually or otherwise, and we too are really excited that we could do this here with you today. Aging Paws is something that is the result of many years of thought. I think that most people that are in the animal care business or rescue, veterinary, really all would agree that we feel a sort of lifelong love of animals and commitment to taking care of the environment. And that's something that's sort of a mutual tie throughout this industry, I would say. And so it's something that I've always had, but always wanted to find a way to use my resources and my experience to help those in need in this area. And I've thought about it for a long time, and a couple of years ago was looking at putting that 50th candle on my birthday cake and said, gosh, if you're ever going to do it, now's the time, right? So I had that jump out of the airplane, whether the parachute will open or not, thought about it, and really wanted to think hard about, okay, how can I do this? What is the best way? And I didn't want to take away from the many experienced and more knowledgeable people that are already out there working to help animals in need and families that are struggling with issues related to animal surrender. I didn't want to take away from those that are already working there. And so my thought was kind of that old adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure approach. And so I thought, hey, why don't we try to do something that addresses keeping these particularly senior dogs, which I have a big heart for, in their homes, and helping people to not get in a position where they're financially unable to meet medical needs or having problems with housing issues. Let's try to get on that side of the problem to see if we can't prevent these animals from ever having to be surrendered in the first place. So that was kind of the thought behind it and my approach. And I was floating the idea among family and friends and seeing if there was anybody else that might want to jump on board with me or jump out of the airplane with me and I was lucky enough to have some family members that said, yeah, we'll help you. And friends like Julie that said, gosh, I always wanted to do that too. And I'm willing to jump on board. And that's really how we started. And we didn't really know where we were going to go with it when it started, but we said we're going to put this together and we'll see what we can do. And we've been really, really happy over the last almost 2 years now with our results and with the support from people like you, Melissa, who have reached out and said, yeah, we want to know what you're all about and we want to help you get your message out.
Okay, yeah, so, right. So you said it's been 2 years now that the organization has been started?
Yeah, August of 2018 was our sort of official start date. So coming up on 2 years now.
So how did you start, like, as far as actually initially, like, getting the word out that you have this organization and this is your mission, to help, like, who was your first client? Who's your first, how did that work?
Sure. Well, we were really lucky. First comes all of the formation issues, and with my background, I'm a corporate attorney by day, so I was able to handle the sort of administrative things and formation of the entity very quickly and easily. And we started with a simple Facebook page, and let people know, let friends know that we were out there, and that got shared to some of the local community pages. And we were lucky enough to have a local newspaper read about us and want to come out and do a story about the entity that we were developing. And so that happened. Julie was there with me. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I think it was really in the fall of 2018. It was pretty quick after we started. And from there, people started calling us because they had read about us, and the word got spread on Facebook. And we were just real excited that so many people were jumping on board with us and behind our ideas and mission.
So can you give me an example of someone who may call you, or give me the scenario here of someone who may need your assistance? So I have a soft spot in my heart too, because I had 2 senior dogs and that recently passed the last couple of years. And, and I worked with many of these organizations who, were everything from, fostering to the Humane Society, who have these older animals who need, a loving home. So I have this soft spot in my heart too for older animals. But yeah, can you tell us how, who give me the client who would call you, or the volunteer, or someone who needs your assistance?
Sure. So I'll tell you one of my favorite Aging Paws stories, which was one of the first families that we ever helped. And this was Smokey, who was an 8-year-old lab Great Pyrenees mix, beautiful boy. And his family was a couple that was retired and on a fixed income. And Smokey at 8 years old came down with an immune disorder that took quite a bit of work and thought and analysis from his immediate veterinary specialist, but then also ended up involving the Michigan State University veterinarians. And they were doing a lot of work to figure out what was wrong with Smokey. And they finally did that, but it was really thousands and thousands of dollars worth of expense for Smokey's family. And ultimately, they did find a regimen that would allow him to live out his golden years and a happy life, but required some prescription medications and a prescription diet that was fairly expensive and outside the budget of the fixed income that this couple was on. And they had seen the information that was out in the paper and on our Facebook page and contacted us to say, is there anything that you can do to help us? And we were, of course, thrilled to be able to help them, and we're able to do 2 things. One was to, of course, make a donation to help fund the prescription medication and the prescription diet that Smokey needed. But we were also able to talk to the wholesaler of the prescription diet that Smokey was on and negotiate pricing with them. And so they ultimately lowered their prices and fell within the budget of the couple that we were working with. And they were then able to afford to keep Smokey at home, not having to deal with surrender issues or euthanasia type ideas over this. And we were really happy to be a part of that. And that's a really good example of the kinds of situations that we want to help with and ways that we can help, certainly with funding. And that's really a focus of ours, is the funding, because we know that's just a resource that is a hard one for a lot of people to tackle.
Yeah.
But also in the negotiation and the talking to, the business entities, again, with my corporate practice, I have some experience with those types of situations and was able to bring that resource to be helpful to this family in need. So that's a good example. And there are lots of other things that have come up along the way, surgeries and things like that we've helped address. But that Smoky Store is one that really kind of is in my heart and that I really love to tell.
Is there an application process? Like
Yes. We don't have an application. What we do, people usually contact us via email or sometimes through Facebook Messenger, occasionally a phone call. And what we do is talk to them about what their needs are. And then in the example that I gave with a veterinary situation, we would then go to their veterinarian and get some sort of substantiation of the situation, talk about veterinary needs and from a kind of an expert standpoint, what needs to be done, and then work through that veterinary medicine center or a shelter or whoever it is that, is involved in the situation. And talk to them about, validating the need and then identifying what we can do to help.
Okay. Well, we have some other ladies with you on our panel today, and two of them happen to be your daughters. So Sam and Jillian. Yeah? They're part of the team.
Yeah, I'm going to pass it to them.
Yeah.
Yes. They, as I said, I was lucky enough to have family and friends that were really ready to jump on board with me. And, my daughters came up with a great idea. We really like win-win situations where we can do something for other people while they are helping us with our mission. And they came up with a great idea. So I'm going to pass things over and let them tell you about it.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to talk with them. Hi there. Hi, girls.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the teen panel. I don't typically come across teen panels when necessarily working with animal rescues. So this is impressive. I like it. Tell me more about it.
Thank you. The idea started from me, pretty much. I have a lot of friends at school who are always looking for volunteer opportunities for the National Honor Society, Optimist Club, college application, things like that. Working with my mom at Aging Paws, I thought it would be a great idea to have a teen panel. This would create a win-win situation in which those volunteering got volunteer hours, of course, and they also got business experience and learned how to execute a fundraiser. They would also get to obviously help the community and the dogs in the community, which who doesn't love helping dogs?
Mm-hmm.
We in return get fundraising help, the ideas they brought to the table, and get to reach out to the next generation of students to help us continue our mission in the future.
And have you started your efforts on recruitment? Or is this something that you are just now getting started with?
No, we have started our efforts on recruitment. We sent out applications and such, but due to the current, global situation, it's been halted a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
More to talk on that would be my sister.
Okay. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. Well, yeah. What?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, tell me a little bit about the recruitment.
We have started the recruitment for the teen panel. We get applications from the teens and then we review them and decide whether or not to add them to the teen panel. And then every so often we'll have meetings, which obviously we can't do right now, but we will definitely start that as soon as we can. And even though with the current situation with Corona and COVID-19, we are still accepting applications, and people or teens who are interested can email us for information and applications at agingpawsinc@gmail.com.
Now, do you have a minimum age? Is it 13, 12? Is it teens only? And what's the age range?
The minimum age is 13.
Okay, makes sense. And can the teens come from all over Metro Detroit, or is it statewide, or what are the parameters there?
They can come from all over Metro Detroit. It's not just our area. We are looking forward to expanding the reach of the teen panel so that we can do fundraisers not only in our area, but also at other school districts or in other communities.
Okay. That's wonderful. That's very impressive. I hope that, once this, things lighten up and things start to return to normal, that you do have more, inquiries and teens wanting to be a part of this. I know if I were a teen, and of course, working with, loving animals and cats and dogs. Well, let me ask you, we focused on dogs, Aging Paws. Is there any other type of animals that you do work with, or is it primarily the canines, the dogs? I don't know if we...
Right now it's primarily dogs, but in the future we would like to look forward to maybe expanding to other animals. But right now we are mostly focused on helping dogs.
Sure. Okay. Well, we have another lady on the call with us today. So that's Julie. Welcome to the show, Julie. Oh, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. This is an interesting time we're in. So doing this from home is kind of fun, and I'm glad that I was able to get everyone on the call today. So, yeah, tell me a little bit about being on the board of directors and your role.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear him, but one of my dogs is sitting right next to me, and he's really, really upset that I'm not paying attention to him right now. So he's carrying on.
No,
it's been a really fun experience. Getting into something that you firmly believe in, needless to say, and it's a great cause. And being able to help people keep their dogs, for lengthening their lives and enriching their lives it's really rewarding.
Do you have any examples like Kathy did, as far as some maybe animals or a story that you can recall that you were able to, like you said, lengthen the longevity of the animal's life, the dog's life?
Oh, I think Smokey's story is my favorite too. Primarily because he was our first. He was our first, so it was a big deal to be able to help them and help keep Smokey healthy for them.
Sure. And so did you get on board then too, right in the beginning? I know Kathy's mentioned, the family and friends who got on board and, saw this opportunity. I think it's pretty neat. So it's unique. It's definitely unique.
Yeah, I did. As soon as I saw her post, saying that she was thinking about starting it, I was definitely on board. My daughter and I volunteer quite a bit at the shelter whenever we can. And It's difficult to get there on a regular basis because really we can only go there Saturdays between 10 and 4. And she's a teenager, so she's got a busy schedule, so it's difficult for us to get there. So this was a way for me to do something else to help. Sure. That was, from a time standpoint, it's a little bit more flexible in my time. It wasn't only when they were open. It's when I have extra time.
Extra time to do so, sure. So let me ask, Kathy, you have your social media sites. Can you tell us about those if people want to know more about Aging Paws?
Sure. We are on Facebook and Instagram. Primarily, I would say we do a lot more on Facebook. You'll see a lot more from us on Facebook just because so far that tends to be where those that we're looking to help are as well. So we put ourselves out there a little bit more. The Instagram, I think, will start getting more use with the teen panel because Instagram tends to be a younger demographic and they look there more than, old folks like me do. So I think the teen panel will probably use Instagram quite a bit. And that's where you'll find more information there. And we are at Aging Paws, all lowercase, on Instagram, and then of course Aging Paws on Facebook also, and we can get messages through Facebook Messenger and things like that as well. Okay.
Is there anything, before we wrap up, is there anything you might want to request or ask or let the public know or viewers know, maybe aside from teens applying, but what is it that you need from the viewers?
Sure. So I think the main thing that we are looking for is those win-win situations that I referenced. For example, we got in touch, or we were reached out to by a team of realtors this week who contacted us wanting to commit to donate a portion of their commissions for the entire year to Aging Paws, which was just really and exciting for us, and we're just grateful. But we love that because these are some really experienced, knowledgeable people in their field, and now we're able to go out to people and say, you can get the benefit of this experience and this knowledge to help you find the home of your dreams, or that cottage you were always looking for, or something wonderful for your family, and at the same time help us with our mission in helping, families and their aging pets. And really, we love those kinds of situations. And we, of course, utilize things like Kroger Rewards, where it's really, again, a win-win situation. It's not costing you anything that you wouldn't otherwise spend. The market is getting the benefit of the business, but then we're getting a portion of the proceeds back to put into the community in helpful ways that are not only helping the animals, but helping their families. I think there are many psychological studies out there showing how much benefit there is to having and the emotional support and all that. So, these things that we're doing are certainly for the animals, but for the people too. And so we're looking for those kinds of dealings and transactions, people that want to get into a situation where we can help them and they can help us. So there's that. And then I guess the other sort of last thing that I would want to say is, if there are people out there that are looking for help, that are struggling with these issues of trying to financially support or trying to provide housing and things like that just really don't know where to turn, contact us. We can't promise that we can solve every problem, but we're certainly going to try our best to see if we can help find a solution for you. And the best way to get a hold of us is through our email, which is agingpawsinc@gmail.com. So that's agingpawsinc@gmail.com. We want to help, and that's what we're here for.
That's so wonderful. It's so impressive. And every time I talk with organizations like yours, especially ones that are more of a startup, and so to speak, I mean, you have 2 years, but still what you've accomplished in the last 2 years is amazing. So, and it's people like you, I always feel just, you have a big heart. Everyone that I spoke with today, you can tell, and a passion for animals and helping. And again, I go back to, the senior dogs, and they're just so special, and it's so heartbreaking to see them, even if they have to end, their lives early when they don't really need to, and just helping a family like that is amazing. We had some assistants like that too, so I can definitely relate. So,
well, thank you for those kind words.
Absolutely. And I want to thank all of you for coming on today to this at-home edition of Happy Tales. So yeah, that's all for today. But for more programming from CTN, you can visit a2gov.org/CTN, or you can talk to us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at CTN and Arbor. And I want to thank you for watching this episode. And again, we will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.